Bridget Bartlett here. So today I am going to give you an overview of the high level calendar system. And I'm also going to give you an overview of the different types of calendars that you can create inside of high level. So if you are unfamiliar with high level, it is an all-in-one digital marketing platform that you can white label and resell as SaaS or a service. You can go to bridgetbartlett.com and check that out. You can also, if you're a current high level member, you can go to bridgetbartlett.com as well if you're interested in joining our program. Okay. So you can see here that I have two basic calendars. One of them is a paid calendar and one of them is a free calendar. Now we have two different calendars on a group calendar. Okay. So if I've already lost you, I'm going to back up. I'm going to show you how I did this here. Okay. But we this basic calendar. This is just like any other calendar that you would see. You would choose your date and time and select the time. And then, of course, you can enter in all the info. We have this confirm the conditions and schedule the meeting. Okay. Now, if you need a paid meeting, you can click there. You'll do the same process here. You're going to choose the day and time and select, and then you're going to be asked to enter your payment information. Okay. So you can see same basic process, same calendar, but one is paid and one is free. Now, if you want to offer one of these calendars instead of the entire page, you can easily do that just by sharing the link to this specific calendar. If you wanted to share all of your calendars with someone, then you can share the list to the group calendar. Okay. So to show you the back end of that, this is kind of what that looks like here. So we have the two different calendars and then we have the one group. Okay. So I'm actually going to dive into my demo account here and I want to show you how to get all of this set up. Okay. Before I even go to the calendars and start talking about the specific calendars, you need to make sure that you get things set up to prepare for that. Okay. So the very first thing we want to do is go to my profile. Now, if you are in your high level account and you do not see file, it's because you're logged in as the agency user and not the user of the account. Okay. So you need to make sure that you're logged into your white label domain. In my example, it's app.myvisionagency.com. And you want to make sure that you are logged in as the user that's connected to this account. Now, this is my demo account, so I'm not logged in as my main user. Okay. You could technically, to achieve this result, I could go to app.myvisionagency.com and I could log in using info@bridgetbartlett.com. And then I could choose the password there. And then I would be logged in as demo user number one. Okay. But since I'm the agency owner, I probably have reasons to do that lots of times, especially if you were like, say that you have a sub account who's like, hey, I'm having issues with my website, and you want to see what they're actually looking at, you can go click over here and you're going to choose login as, and then you're going to choose whatever account or user you want to log in as. So when you choose that, you're going to be able to see everything that that user can see. All right. Now, you'll also see the my profile here. So if you do not see that, I just want to say this again because I hear this so many times. If you do not see my profile, it's because you're not logged in as a user. Okay. So you need to make sure that you are logged in as a user. Now, when you get logged in as a user, you'll see the profile and you'll see that since I am logged in and it says right here that I am demo user number one, that's my name. Actually, my last name would be one. We have the email here and all of that. Now, the important part is the meeting location. All right. So I need to decide where I want my leads and my meetings to be set. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to come down into the integrations. Okay. This is a very first step. And if I'm using Google, for my calendar, I want to go ahead and just log in as Google. Okay. Or log into my Google account. So I'm just going to choose this here. I'm going to choose go ahead and continue and allow. And now I'm giving access from my account to high level, okay, or the white label domain. So you can see now I have this Google account connected here. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to go back to my profile and I want to connect Zoom. Okay. So I'm going to go down here, I'm going to connect my Zoom account. Now, you cannot have one Zoom account connected to multiple agencies. Now, I was testing all this out because I'm using like a free Zoom account because I wanted to show you guys in this testing. But you'll have to give like permissions a couple times to connect to Zoom, and then you'll be able to connect to Zoom. So what I was saying is you're not going to be able to connect the same Zoom account to multiple different sub accounts. So just so that you know that, okay? So I'm just using this test account here for Zoom, and now I have my Zoom integration connected. Now, also, what I need to do is I need to come down here. Once you've connected the Google account, I want to come down here and I want to choose the calendar. So, what calendar do I want all of my appointments to show up on? So, I'm going to click here and I can choose do not seek new events, but I actually do want to choose this. I'm going to choose the primary calendar, which this is just a demo account, so I don't have anything there. But I can also choose allow contact creation if I want to. I'm just going to do save. Okay, so now I have vendor connected to my profile, or I will as soon as it goes through. Okay, so now this is the calendar that all of my appointments that get booked through my account here, it's going to show up here on my Vision Task. Now, where else could I access that? I could go into my account here and I could go to my calendar, and then you would see the main calendar that shows up here is the Google Calendar of this account. Okay, so you can see there's nothing there, but we'll just say got it. Okay, so all of the appointments would show up there. All right. Now, if I have several calendars and I want to make sure that, let's say that I choose my hours as like 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Let's say that I have multiple calendars though that I'm working in, I'm a user on, maybe sales and demos or whatever I'm working on. I can have it check for a specific calendar for any conflicts. So if someone books an appointment at like 2 o'clock, and I have on my like live training that I'm live at 2 o'clock, it will now not allow that appointment to be booked because it conflicts with another appointment here on this calendar. So if you do need to check for conflicts, you want to make sure that you're setting all of that up there. Okay. Now, the next thing, if we scroll up here, you'll see that we have the meeting location. All right. So the meeting location right now is set to custom because the Zoom account is connected. What it's going to do is it's going to, you can put a link here. So let's just say that if I wanted to use my own personal Zoom meeting, or I was using some other software that's not Zoom, or I could even do like a location, like an address or a phone number if the meeting was on the phone. But most of us are going to choose this Zoom integration here. Okay. So when you choose that, it's going to connect everything and create these meetings with the Zoom link. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you when we get to the calendars. If you're choosing one specific calendar, then you need to use your personal Zoom meeting, which is going to be the same link every single time. If you're using another calendar, you're going to create the custom links for each member or for each meeting. Okay. So what most of us are going to do is want those custom links for the meeting. We don't just want to use one link for every single meeting because, someone could hop into our meeting and then we don't want them in there and all of that. So we want custom links. All right. So we want to make sure Zoom is connected, and we want to make sure that our meeting location is set to Zoom if that's what we want. We also want to check our time zone. This is very, very important and often missed. When you are booking an appointment, obviously they need to see their own time zone. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're putting your time zone, and there's also a place in the form or in the calendar where they can actually toggle between their time zones. But you want to make sure your time zone is correct and listed, because then when they go to convert that meeting time, it needs to be the correct time. Okay. This will really screw up your day if you not have this set correctly. Okay. So make sure to choose your time zone there. Now, this is also going to be your user profile hours of availability. Okay. So let's say that every day I'm going to be available between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Okay, those are my actual office hours. So I want to do 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And what if though, maybe instead I want to do to 12 p.m. because maybe at 1 I want to have like a lunch break. Okay, so I'm just going to go here. I'm going to set 12 to 1, I am unavailable. And then I'm going to say 1 to 6 p.m. Okay. So I can choose all of those times if I want to. And then, of course, I could duplicate all of those and then make it all week long. But maybe I don't want to have appointments booked on Fridays. So I can just delete that day. And then I could just have or the afternoon or whatever. And I could even delete this day if I really wanted to. Okay. So I could just uncheck that box and then it will not be my available time. Okay. Of course, I could select all if I wanted all the days, but of course, you can choose. I'm a huge advocate of choosing your own schedule, right? So I'm going to go ahead and click update availability. So I've chosen my days and my times there. All right. So now, once this is all set up, and you will see before I move on, you will see the option to add the Outlook calendar or the iCloud calendar if that is what you prefer to use. You can connect these, but I have heard several people say that if you have Google connected first and then you connect these, it will cause some conflicts. So make sure to go back to integrations, Google, then connect these, and then you could connect Google again if you really wanted to. Okay. Now we do have the option to do the two-way sync. However, this doesn't usually work out. It of course depends on your use case. But it will cause duplicate emails to show up in your HighLevel account and the inbox. So make sure that you have a good use case for that if you do want to choose that option. All right, so now we've got all this set up. I'm going to go into calendars and you'll see here that we have a calendar already created, but you'll see that we have a sales group. Okay, this is our demo account here. So I'm just going to create, let's go ahead and just create, let's delete this. All right. And I am going to create a group or a calendar. Actually, let's create a group. All right. So we're going to create a group. All right. Now, this group it could be for an individual, which I do suggest, if you have, a team, each team should have their own group because they may have separate calendars that they're on, and you want each team member to have a link where all of their calendars are listed. Okay, so I'm going to say this group name is going to be Bridget Bartlett, and this is where you can book with Bridget. Okay, oops, not Bridget. Okay, so I want to choose the template. Now, with a lot of the customizations, you do need to have the Neo version. This is like the newest version with all the new bells and whistles. So I'm going to choose Neo, and then of course we can choose the group URL. So if this is like a person, I would choose like Bridget Bartlett, okay, because that's my person. So or my name and the name of the person of the group. So if I was to go and type in the URL, and it would be group slash, and then it could be Bridget Bartlett. Okay. Now I actually already have that for a group, so I'm going to say create. Okay, so we'll say Bridget Bartlett 45. All right, now I may have like another group that I want to create for like maybe support. Okay, so I'm going to create a support group. This is our support group. And then, of course, I could choose Neo or Classic, and then I could choose Support. Okay, so create. Oops, already taken. So I'm just going to put some letters after that. Okay, so now you see that we have two different groups here. I could have a sales group. I could have a demos group. I mean, you could really just build out unlimited groups here. Okay, so once you have your groups created, you'll see if you move over here, you see the preferences. So you can see my preference is set to the Zoom location. That's what we set in the My Profile area. And you can see the account preference is in the, if we go to Business Profile here, it's actually My Profile. You see the account preference. Let's go back here. Sorry, I know I'm clicking all over the place. They move these things, and sometimes you're, uh, you set your calendars up, and then the next time you come back and you're like, wait, they moved that. Where did that go? Okay, so we have our calendars here. You see that we have our groups here, preferences. Let's go back here. We have the account preferences, and this is based on, like I said, the account. Right. So these are for the entire calendar system. All right. Now you also have the availability. So here again, we have my availability, and then we have the account availability. Okay. That's the part that's coming soon into this area as opposed to the other area. And then, of course, you have your connections here. Okay. So the main calendar integration is the My Vision tasks at Gmail. That is our main calendar. We can turn on two-way sync, but what that's going to do is it's going to make, like, let's say you have a doctor's appointment, you're using the same calendar, it's going to actually update that on the calendar, and then it's going to trigger your events and all of that. So I know that there are some use cases for that, but most of us are not going to toggle this on. Okay. So again, just know that it's available if you do have a use case that's needed. However, it is not everyone will use that. Okay. So you can toggle that on. And of course, again, we have our calendars here. You can choose which calendars you want to check for conflicts. If you're using Google, you can also toggle this on if you're using Outlook or Out. Okay, so now let's go back to the calendars here. And let's walk through the different types of calendars. So we have the service calendar here. So this is going to be used a lot by like salons or barber shops, where maybe you want to book haircuts, and maybe that is the service, and then you can choose the person that you want to book with, and you could also like choose between the service. So maybe you want haircuts and you want like hair coloring, and you want like maybe makeup or something like that. You can create those different services and then allow people to book there. The simple calendar is what a lot of people use. It kind of like replaces Calendly. It's a very basic calendar. This simple calendar is going to be one where you're going to use your personal link for the meeting. Okay. So it's not going to be one that you can create custom Zoom links for each of your meetings. It's going to require you to use your basic personal link from Zoom. Okay. Now, if you're unfamiliar, you're going to go to meetings here, and then you're going to go to grab. This is a brand new account, so I don't think I have it set up here, but let me see. I was hoping I could just quickly find this in here. Personal meeting right there. Okay. So that's what that link is going to be. And it's going to be the same one every single time. Now, most of us who are using HighLevel are using the round robin calendar. Now, you can still do what you can do. Basically, if you're the only person, just because it's just you doesn't mean that you can't use the round robin. It's just you're going to put only yourself as the person who's hosting the meeting. Okay. But what's cool about round robin is you do have the ability to set those custom Zoom links for the meeting. And so that's really the two biggest differences between these here. Okay. Now, the class booking and collective booking. This is if you have, and it says here, contacts can schedule a meeting with a single person on your team, or schedule meetings with multiple team members simultaneously, ideal for sales calls, technical support, interviews, etc. Okay. So, when you are creating bookings, we're going to talk about that on a different day, as well as the service calendars, because the service calendars kind of coincide here with the service menu, the rooms, and the equipment. Okay. This is really helpful. Rooms and equipments, if you have like maybe a church where you have, rooms that or events place where like people can rent out rooms or different equipment and things like that, and they can sign up to do that. This is going to help you do that. But that's going to be in the training. It's a little bit more advanced. I just want to make sure that you know how to set up your booking system in the most easy way possible. Okay. So now we are back to the simple calendar here, and we want to create our first calendar. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to show you, because it's the basic same setup here, and most of us are going to use the round robin. I'm going to go ahead and choose the round robin here. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to give my calendar a name. So I'm just going to say sales. Okay. Now I want to select the team members. Now I'm just saying I'm the only team member, but if I did have multiple team members and I wanted us all to be able to take these appointments, I could set all of my team members here. Okay. So just because we're using round robin doesn't mean you can't be the only employee or team member, but it also does mean that you can add different team members here. Now I'm going to add my custom URL. So I'm going to say sales, and then I'm going to add some numbers at the end so that it's not a duplicate. And I want to choose my meeting duration. So how long are these calls going to be? I can change the number here and choose between minutes and hours. I'll just leave that at 30 minutes. And then we can choose our booking availability availability. Okay. So you'll see here is my time zone. That's what I set in that other area that I said was so important. And we're going to choose our days that we're going to be able to book appointments and the available times. Okay. Now, if these times, so you can see this is 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. If these times here conflict with my personal availability, it's only going to choose my personal available. Like if they book at 8 a.m., but my personal availability is only 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., this is going to skip me and it's going to go to the next person who is available at that time. Okay, so that's kind of how all of that works. So people are booking into your calendar, and then the round robin is determining what user is going to get assigned to that appointment. Okay. So we're choosing the booking availability times. And if we did want to choose a payment, super simple. We just literally type in the payment amount. So if I wanted to say, $997, all I'd have to do is type that in there, give a description, and then we're good to go. Now I could click confirm here, but if you click advanced settings, you actually get some additional settings that you can customize. So we have here the um, click and upload your image here. So let's see if I have an image. We'll go to my drive. Let's see. Profile. Profile pic. I cannot type, I swear. And it gets worse when I am live. Let's just look for profile pic here. And we'll just choose this one. Okay, so just make sure it does need to be 180 by 180. Okay, now so we're going to have the image here, and this image is for this group. Okay. So, or this calendar. So here's our calendar name, which is sales. We can write a description. We can choose the group that we want this assigned to. So if it's going to be like me, I'm going to put it in my group, or if it's going to be the support team. And then also we can change the custom URL if we want to. We can add the meeting invite title. It's going to default to the context name that booked. And then here we want to choose the optimize for availability. Okay. So you can see that I added 3 members here. So it is asking us to select the team members. We can choose optimize for availability, meaning whoever's available is going to receive the appointment. Or maybe what we want to do is say who demo user 1 gets the first appointment, demo user 2 gets an appointment, and demo user 3 gets the third appointment. The 4th appointment is going to come back to demo user 1. Okay, so that's how we would want to distribute. Okay, so it's really up to you, however you want to structure that, whatever your workflow is. But again, it's just important to know that you do have those options. Now, because I have 3 users in this calendar, you'll see here that I can actually set the location for each of the users. So demo user 2 will need to log into your white label domain using their email, their own email that is attached to the email sending domain. So for example, this user demo 1 or demo user 1 is info@bridgetbartlett.com. Demo user 2 should need an email address attached to bridgetbartlett.com because that is the same domain that's being used in the account. Each user needs to have their own email address attached to the account. Okay. So demo user 2 is going to log into their account using your white label domain with their own password, and they're going to go to their profile and they're going to set their own permissions, just like we did here for ourselves using user demo 1. Okay. Demo user 3 will need to do the same thing. They're going to log in with their own email address into the dashboard. They're going to set up their own user profile. These are all based on the user level. Okay. Now, let's say that I don't want demo user 3. You can see all I need to do is just select these, and then it takes the demo user out. And then we just have the one user that is, ourselves, if that's how we wanted to set it up. Okay, so you can also choose the event color. Of course, I'm always going to choose purple. And then we're going to go ahead and choose the availability. So here is for this specific calendar. So we want to choose the days and times, pretty self-explanatory. We can choose reoccurring meeting, but typically you will use like the class calendars for that. And so for this case, I'm not going to choose that. But if you did want to, you could toggle that over and choose daily, repeats one time, or you could even choose if slots are unavailable, skip booking until the next slot, or continue booking, or book next available slot. Okay. Now, this is a lot of information. And if you guys are completely overwhelmed, you can go to help.gohighlevel.com, access the knowledge base. They have an enormous amount of detailed tutorials to help you walk through all of this stuff. Okay. So I'm not going to choose reoccurring meeting. We have our meeting intervals. So how long are the meetings, and then the duration? Or okay, I'm sorry. The interval is going to be the time in between the meetings, and then the meeting duration is going to be the amount of time that the meeting takes place. Okay, so if you are, let's say that you are cutting hair and it takes you 30 minutes for a haircut, but then afterwards you need to sweep up and maybe take a quick break before you take the next person. Maybe you want another, 30 minutes booked in. Okay. So we want the minimum scheduling notice. So do you want them to be able to schedule, like, if it's 10 a.m. and you have an open slot at 10:50, do you want them to be able to book that? You can choose that minimum scheduling notice there. I'd like to choose the day before. I just like to plan in my day. If I have a meeting, you guys know how it is. We plan our days around those appointments. So you may want to at least give yourself a day for that. Now, the date range, I like to say 14 days, because I feel like, especially if it's a paid appointment, it's not as crucial. But if it is a free appointment, the likelihood of someone remembering that they booked an appointment with you like 30 days ago is not going to be very good, even if you're sending them the reminders. They may have lost interest at that point. So I like to say 14 days to book the appointment, max. Okay. So maximum bookings per day. I know for me, because I do not do coaching as my main thing, like private coaching, I only allow one coaching session per day because I have a bunch of other things that I need to do. So I really only have the time for one. However, if you're doing, like, sales calls, and that is your main thing, maybe you want to say like 8 appointments per day, or however you want to structure that. Maximum bookings per slot per user. So this says maximum number of appointments permitted per slot for the user. If the number of appointments exceed for the given slot for the user, then it either switches over to the next user in the round robin queue, or marks the slot unavailable for the prospects to book. I love how HighLevel puts these little things in there to, answer every question you could possibly have. All right. Now, pre-buffer booking time and post-buffer booking time, these are kind of a little bit redundant, but I say that only because for my use case, it's a little redundant, but they have built this in here for reasons. So if you do need to build in like time to set up for your appointment, or time to maybe clean up after appointment, however, whatever your business is, then you can add that time here. A lot of people just build that time into the appointment. For example, if it takes you 30 minutes to cut someone's hair, but it takes you 15 minutes to set up and then 15 minutes to clean up, you would probably want to make that meeting duration an hour, just to make that, simple for yourself. Okay. So that's usually how people will do that. All right. So now we have forms and payments. So we can select the form. So if you have specific questions that you want to ask your appointments when they're booking to pre-qualify them, that's really important if it's a free one. Or even if it's a paid one, if you gather some information before the appointment so that you could do a little research, or, better support them, you can choose from a form that you create in the form section, or you can choose the default here. You can also choose to use the pre-populate the fields. So basically, let's say that I know in our system, our funnel for all of our members is get 20 free leads, and when they opt in to get the 20 free leads, then they can book an appointment to do a demo, and then get the 20 free leads. And so that is a great option to have on that calendar on page 2, because it saves them the time of having to populate fields that they've already entered their info in, like name and email address. So this definitely will be a higher conversion, because it just eliminates a little stumbling block. They will not have to re-enter that info. Okay. So we also have the consent box. This is really important, especially if you're going to be sending text messages in the reminders. And I'm going to talk about later in the week about the automations for your appointments as well. So we want to make sure that our consent box is here and it is relevant. If you have paid appointments, maybe you want them to say that not only can they receive text messages, but they need to cancel within 24 hours, or it fits their fee and whatever your terms of service are. You can add guests here. So this is really important if it's like a call or if it is, a lot of times, like with private consultations, the client will have like their VA in the meeting. And so if you want them to have the ability to do that, you can toggle that on and then capture their name and email address. You could also, the confirmation. So do you want, when they book the appointment, do you want to redirect them to another URL, or do you want to just have a default message here? I definitely encourage you to update this and make sure that they know what's going to happen, whether it's like check your email for confirmation or, whatever your next step that you want them to take, make sure to put that here. Or you could customize a really pretty page and give them more info about your business and whatever else. All you need to do is click here to redirect, and then you can paste that link there. You can even track that event using the Facebook Pixel if you want to paste that ID there. Okay. So we have the ability to auto confirm new calendar meetings. So most people will auto confirm, especially like if it's a paid meeting because they need to pay to book. So we want to auto confirm that. You can see that this has payments accepted here, but maybe you don't want to auto confirm if it's like a booking of like a free demo and you want to make sure that they've gone through the pre-qualification process before you auto confirm. So you do have the ability to choose that option or not by toggling that on or off. Okay. So like I said, accepting payments, really simple. You're just going to toggle that on for accepting payments. If you want to test this and use another email, I have lots of training on testing, but all you need to do is just toggle this off and you're going to open up an incognito window and you're going to book an appointment using a totally different email address, and you're just going to act like a customer. Okay. And then you're going to go through this. And if you want to tout this area here to make sure that the payment has gone through, you can just do, for the credit card number, it's like 424. Going to use all four twos, make up an expiration, make up the code, and that will help you go through the testing process. But go to my YouTube channel, Bridget Bartlett. You can search for it. I have training on testing. Okay. So we're going to say no payments here, and we're just going to move on to notification and additional options. All right. So when we have confirmed the email, we can choose the acknowledgement email here. We also can choose who should receive the email. So do we want to send the acknowledgement email to the contact, to the assigned user, or additional emails? Maybe there's an additional, like if we have a VA, we want to let them know every time we have a booked appointment or something like that. Now you can choose these options and it will make it really simple. So if you're new to HighLevel and you need to get these appointments booked, by all means, just check these and move on with life's appointments. But as you start building this out, you're probably going to want to build these notifications into workflows. There's a lot more customizations and things like that that you can use. So I highly recommend using workflows, but just so that you know the options available here, you can decide what you want to do at this point here. Now, I do recommend to allow Google and Outlook Calendar to send invitations and update emails to attendees. One, they're going to receive it because Google and Outlook are sending the emails, right? But also it will allow them to click and just easily add their emails to, or the event to their calendar. So that makes it really easy. And again, we're just trying to make it easy for our lead or customer to attend the meeting and get the reminders. Assign contacts to their respective calendar team members each time an appointment is booked. Again, this is really up to you and your whatever your flow is. You may decide to toggle that on or not. If you do toggle it on, you do have the ability to skip assigning contact if the contact is already an assigned user. Okay. So if they've come in and Billy Bob has taken one appointment and then they come in again to book another appointment, you want to decide, are they going back to Billy Bob or go to a new person? So you can choose all of that here. Okay. So cancellation and reschedule. You can see here there in the email that it will have custom here that they will be able to reschedule or cancel. I highly recommend that because, again, no shows are not fun for anyone. And so if you can give them the ability to schedule or cancel without contacting you, that just is easier for everyone, right? But if you don't want them to have that ability, you can just toggle these off and you'll see those custom values disappear so they won't show up in any of the emails. Okay. So also we have the customizations. Now, remember, you can upload calendar image here. Now, the calendar cover image, if I go back here to my calendars that I had, um, did I close that out? Let me see. Oh, here we go. If we go back to the calendar, so this is going to be like the image of the calendar, and then you have this image here. Okay. So if I go into, I just wanted to show you like where those images appear. So I'm going to go into the back end of this calendar. So you can see the meeting details here. That is what is inside the calendar there. Okay. So we have this image here, and that is what is going to be here. Okay. So this is what's going to appear on the cover of the calendar on the group page. And then the other image is what's going to appear when they click on the calendar. And then we have that there. Okay. Just so that, so you know which thing goes where. All right. Let me get back into the correct window. So we have that image there. And like I said, all of the new customizations, you need to be in Neo over Classic. But if you wanted to use like some CSS or something like that, and you wanted to use the Classic for that, you certainly could. But we do have the ability to now brand this. I love using Canva. You can store your brand colors in there. But if you wanted to, just choose a different color, like, of course, I'll always choose purple. You can just choose that. And then that will update your calendar. And course, we always want things branded to us, right? So I could change the background color and the button text. I could make that say something different. I could add the calendar title, or I could just toggle that off. Same with the calendar description and the calendar details if I didn't want those to show. If I want to see what the widget will look like, you can see I pretty much removed like everything here, but you see our white background and then you see the purple color here. So if I go back now and I toggle these things on, and then we open this up, we can preview what that looks like. So you'll see the difference here. We have the sales and all of that just looks a little bit different. So it's up to you, whatever style you like. And if you need to reset it to default, you can click that there. If you want to add a custom code, you can do that there. And then allow staff selection during booking. This is really nice if you have like a hair salon, for example. Maybe me as the customer, maybe Linda is the one who's been doing my hair since like 1979, and I want Linda to be the one that I'm booking my appointment with, then I can choose Linda from the calendar instead of just anyone on the calendar. And then, uh, because I would want Linda taking care of my hair, right? Okay, so those are the options there. Now I want to click save, and now I have my calendar created. Okay, so you can see here that I have this group. If I wanted to change this to another, if I wanted to change this calendar here that I just created called sales, and I wanted to add that to a different group, all I need to do is click there. And you can see here it says, please note that the legacy link will stop working once you process the change. Please confirm by selecting the checkbox. They're talking about the legacy link, meaning when you add a calendar to a group, it will add that group into the link. Okay, so if I go over here and I want to grab any of these links here, I can embed this into another web page or my web page. I can use the permanent link, or I could choose the scheduling link that's been depreciated. Okay, so that's the difference here. And of course, you could deactivate or delete. But the new scheduling link is going to be changed when you change the group. Okay, so if I click here, let me open up a little scratch pad here. So if I look at this link here, you can see that it says groups Bridget Bartlett 45. Okay. So if I go back to this, I go to copy scheduling link, and I open up this window. Now you see it says appointment Bridget Bartlett 45. So you can see why those are different and why you need to make sure if you are moving them to the different groups that you're using the correct link, and be aware that it does change the link. Okay. So that is really the rundown of the high level booking system. Okay. But that is not even nearly all the options available to us. So tomorrow we're going to talk about the workflows, and then we're going to talk about building out those service menus and the rooms and equipment. Okay. So by the end of this week, you will all be booking system masters. So again, if you're not a member of our program, you want to join for free, all you need to do is create a high level account. If you already have a high level account, you can join for free as well. All those options will be available to you at bridgetbartlett.com. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Go make your vision a reality. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us for today's training. If you have any questions, you can join us for open office hours starting right now at bridgetbartlett.com. It's free and open to everyone.